afternoon, Flame. How are you?
I'm good. Y'all see I got my Walona Woods hair from Good Times. Got that damn Walona wore more wigs. But what kind of wig you got on? Look at Lauren's wig.
I'm sparkling today.
Yes, Lauren is giving us a very
Christmas
I'm
sparkling
woman.
Today.
Like sparkling cider.
Yes.
Lauren is tall as a bottle of cider too. Lauren is like 5'10". Is it 5'10"?
I am 5'10".
5'10" and her flat feet. Baby, and you know she used to dance with Debbie Allen. Woo.
I did.
The legs kick off. My 6 o'clock is not even like 4:30. It's like 2:05 shit.
You remember you used to do that in rehearsal? You'd be like 6 o'clock.
I never did none of that. I never did none of that. Baby, my 6 o'clock was for a love lounge. Yeah, my 6 o'clock was very different.
It's okay. We can talk about that later.
How was your Christmas, Lauren?
It was good, actually. I cooked. I know you said that you cooked too, but I did too. I cooked some barbecue chicken wings and some regular chicken wings and some mac and cheese and some greens and I cook.
That was almost a traditional meal.
Yeah.
I didn't make.
I don't like turkey though.
I don't like turkey or turkeys.
Exactly.
We got a turkey. That ain't him. You know I ain't got my glasses on. So we gonna have Nick whenever you come in. Lauren had to see it because you know my blind ass can't see it. Let us know when you hear.
Yeah.
Christmas was very quiet.
Really?
Yeah, nobody came over. Just me and the kids and my friend LB, of course. But that's somebody I've been seeing regularly. And she gets sprayed like everybody else. Everybody gets sprayed with Lysol.
I got sprayed this morning or this afternoon.
Everybody in this studio got sprayed with Lysol. I'm telling you.
Yeah, we did.
I don't know if it works or not, but it's been working for me. And plus, Christmas was very different this year because I don't know. Were you on the naughty or nice list, Lauren?
I'm always on the nice list.
That's
what do you
bullshit.
mean?
I know it, y'all.
I'm
Outside
always
this
on the
camera,
nice
baby.
list.
She is an educated sister, but she cuts up, y'all. You
Only
know
when
she can't hang out with me and don't cut up. That just don't even work. I told Santa that nigga could come to my house. I love you, Santa, but nigga, the corona is real. He was going to too many different people's houses, want to stop, honey. I sprayed that nigga, Donner, Blitzen. I sprayed the shit out of Rudolph because he kept shining that light in my face like the police and shit. I sprayed the hell out of Rudolph. If the Rudolph came to your house and his nose wasn't shiny, the nigga was Lysol. That was Santa couldn't come to my house because the Rona is real, and I ain't fucking with Santa. I told the nigga, leave them gifts outside. They still sitting out there.
Really?
You gotta give them 72 hours to just let it marinate. Then you got that spray, and then you bring it in your house.
And then it's safe.
Yeah,
okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's
baby.
interesting.
I love Santa, but nigga, you can't come up in my house. Because you got that. You going all. I don't even like the bitch across the street, honey. I don't know what kind of house she got. You bring Ronas to my house, nigga. If you don't knock it off. Hello, Nick. Welcome to Laugh and Learn, everyone. Here's my partner here, the very handsome Mr. Nick Smith. Hello, me. I love the Charlie Brown tree in the background.
Oh, good. And I'm trying to sit back so you're not like, okay, Nick, get out of my face while you're rolling up on me like the police.
How was your Christmas?
Well, I'm still celebrating, actually, you know?
Me too. Look.
Oh,
see, we came prepared. We're festive. We came prepared.
We came with props.
I must be Scrooge, nigga. Bah humbug.
Not at all. Not at all. You are the gift that keeps giving.
Oh, that's what she said. Wait a minute. Hold on.
Hello, Lauren. How you doing
she
today?
She identifies as he. Let me be respectful. That's what he said.
There you go.
I just had to clear that up with some of my Flamettes because they be confused as shit.
That's right.
But you know, this is the he, the she, and the we. So you get it all right here.
and then, you know, Flame, people have an issue with you and pronouns and things like that anyway. So, you know, you're going to get it either way. You know that.
Well, let me tell you what they're going to get back today because I'm feeling groovy, baby. Groovy.
Well,
you're going to get it back today.
It's a good day.
It's going to be an interesting show.
It is
Let's
indeed,
just say
Lauren.
that. Yes.
It's like Flame teased in the little video I saw before. She was showing that dress that was, I don't think we can wear that to church on Sunday.
You can't even go to church on Sunday. Corona got everybody outside the yard. Shit, ain't nobody going to church. Shit, unless you in Atlanta.
God, ridiculous.
Ain't nobody going to church. You worshiping God from right here, right from you know, IG Live with with Flame, Nick, and Lauren. Yeah,
I love that. But no, my holiday was great. Lauren, how was yours? Because I know your parents and everybody are still here locally, so at least you got a chance to see mom and dad, right?
Yeah, no, my holiday was great. You know, we hung out. My brother did a quick drive-by to drop off some gifts, and I gave him his. I cooked. So it was very low-key. We watched some movies, and, you know, I was catching up on my Black content on Netflix, and it was good. How was yours?
Absolutely. Same thing. You know, watched I have to, say, we're going to talk about it a little bit later, but Flame is always finding something and saying, what do you mean you haven't seen this? You better watch this. And once again, you sit there, I'm glad that you're by yourself crying and laughing and all that. So I got a chance to catch up on a couple of things. One of them was something that Flame had recommended that we'll talk about a little bit later. But yes, indeed, it was a good
because Lauren watched the same thing. You're not ready to start it. We're going to change the format, so we're going to have to start with that because you're not ready to open up the door. First of all, you didn't ask me how was my Christmas, even though I did get my Christmas present from you. Thank you very much. Secondly, my Christmas was fire. I ain't do a damn thing, which I wish I was doing right now. And what they watched, they caught up on their black content on Netflix. What did you watch, Lauren?
I watched I Am Not Your Negro.
What did you watch,
James
Nicholas?
Baldwin.
I Am Not Your Negro.
Yeah. What did you
Fantastic.
think, Nick? I'm curious. What are your thoughts?
I was floored. Oh wow. Without getting, it just seems like the more things change, the more they stay the same. Without sounding like a cliche. But I think that what I would have to say, and we're just going to say it. I think that James Baldwin easily was one of the best writers and prolific thinkers. And unfortunately, I just feel as though we were a community not ready to receive him in his fullness, that he was too much, that we still need our communicators and people who speak for or reflect the community to look, walk, talk a certain way. And he was not having any of that. He was going to be his authentic self. And I think that unfortunately didn't afford him the opportunity to have the audience that I felt like he deserved.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think for me, the overarching theme that kept coming up was just representation, and just the lack thereof that we have as, Black folks in America. It was just very interesting that they were using different movies to help draw these correlations and parallels together to say, while you may have been enjoying them in the moment, this is how racist it really was, and so this is not something that should have been laughed about or people should have profited off of. This is something that should have been addressed as something serious. So that was my overall takeaway from it. I also just loved how James Baldwin checked people when they really tried to say, oh, we're trying to make strides and we keep apologizing. It's like, stop apologizing and actually do something about it.
Yeah.
So overall, it was really great. Honestly, I always love just watching films like that and, 13th and just, films that really tell you about your history, the truth behind it. And we kind of talked about that last week of just when you write history, write it correctly. It's always refreshing to, get films that actually tell you the truth and you get some more insight to your history.
I love James Baldwin. I thought that he was brilliant. I thought that he was smarter, and I'm saying this publicly on record, that I thought collectively he was smarter than Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and Muhammad Ali, who I adore, all three of these men. Understand, I'm not bashing any of them put together. But again, he was ahead of his time. And he was openly gay and unapologetic about it. Same thing with B.R. Rustin. He was openly gay and unapologetic about it, but he had such a place in the movement as far as us with civil rights and everything. But this goes back to detriment. It's not them. Sometimes it's us. Ooh, it's not them. Sometimes it's us. I said, hold on, niggas, hold that thought 1 second. Before I said I wanted to be, people always say, Flame, you should be an advocate. You should be a speaker. I'm not, because I'm not going to be judged on the content of what I say. I'm going to be judged on what you see, and I'm going to show these titties because they pretty, and I'm going to show these titties. I'm telling you. And black people, I said this, black people will have more of an issue with it than anyone else because that's who we are. I said what I said. James Baldwin could have, and his what he said when you are watching, y'all need to watch. Everything that he said back in 1965 is relevant right now in 2020. Yeah. Probably more so now than then. That shows you what a visionary he was. But I wouldn't put myself in that position because people are not going to hear me. They're going to see these titties. Oh, I'm going to show them.
Then Flame, start there, because since you opened that door, and I know this is going in a direction, this is what I love about Laugh and Learn. Why did you call out the black community? Why do you feel like black people have a harder time with who you are and how you represent than any other group?
Because you grew up in a black household too. As much as you would like to have to be something else, sometimes somebody else's house, it wasn't. Do you understand that being gay in the black community, and y'all can hand me my ass for this one because I know what I'm saying, being gay in the black community is worse than being the rapist or the child molester or the serial killer in the family in the black community. Being gay carries way more sinful weight in black eyes and black households than being a killer or the uncle that come over and touch on all the kids and shit. Yeah. And that's the truth. And if you think that you disagree with me, weigh in and give us your opinion. I said what I said because guess what? I don't care what you think.
And if you do want to weigh in and give your opinion, this is where I'm going to give the little plug as we move into the show. I want everybody to remember to type in capital letters because Flame is reading and monitoring things that come across the screen. Flame and Lauren have the iPad there. We want you to join the conversation. We want you to comment. We want you to share it. We want you to subscribe. But if you want to sound off into the conversation and join us, I want you to use those flames. Type in capital letters, find good lighting, have your headphones, and use the flames so that we know that you're ready to join the conversation.
Before we move forward, I want Lauren to weigh in on that. Lauren, so you grew up, do you have any gay people in your family?
I do.
Do you have any people that go back and forth to jail for other crimes?
Oh my God!
Well,
I don't.
It was a comparison. I'm not saying shit. Oh, that was bad. Flame. I'm sorry, Lauren.
I won't totally put my family's business on blast, but there was a situation in my family where there was an uncle who was a little inappropriate with my aunt, who's my mom's sister.
So so how did the family measure the gay one and that other one?
I would say my family, we'll just talk about my mom's side, born and raised in New York and Brooklyn, very progressive. We've got musicians and every artist that you can think of on my mom's side of the family. So very inclusive, it was never anything about, if you were gay, whatever, your sexuality was. I think the only issue once that my grandmother took with her sister who, was a lesbian, and she passed away from colon cancer a couple years ago. But one time she said to my mother, everybody's got a little lesbian in them. My grandmother didn't appreciate that. She didn't like that. But other than that, very inclusive. It was never an issue. But to your point, Flame, I hear what you're saying, and I can understand that. But I think part of kind of what we need to unpack here is, some of these norms that we have in the Black community of why we don't accept things come from what was ingrained in us when we were slaves. That's my opinion. You guys can differ in that space, but I just feel like those societal norms that were set on us are the reasons why we have these issues in our communities today.
And a lot of
that's how I feel.
I completely agree, Lauren. And just to piggyback off of that, because I do want us to, I was not expecting this conversation at all, but I think it's one of those things too where for whatever reason, families are more comfortable saying to the girls in the family, we've heard this, I won't speak for anybody else, but go put some clothes on because so-and-so is coming over here. And you would think that, well, why is it all of a sudden now this girl is put in a space of shame? Something's wrong with her body that she can't be. She was just running around here with Aunt Lauren and Auntie Karen in her shorts and her little tube top. And there was not a problem. But now because somebody in the family is coming over there, everybody kind of knows and they kind of whisper about, but they don't want to say anything. Go put on some pants because Uncle so-and-so is coming over here. That's a problem. Yeah.
But let's talk about that though, because where does that origin come from? If we're going to take you back to what I just said,
absolutely.
Let's think about how we were on plantations as Black folks, and we had these white women who were married to our masters, and they were very insecure about Black women because these white women were coming in and sleeping with Black women. They were cheating on them, right?
White men.
So exactly, white men. So the issue became that, she's dressed inappropriately. Right. Oh, she needs to cover up.
Right.
And then that's just how that narrative transcends through time. That's how I feel.
I don't know about that one with both of y'all because y'all not parents. Because in my house, when Izzy and my daughter got boobs, one day she came out the bedroom and had boobs. I'm like, girl, when you get those? She said, I got some from you. I said, mine was put on. You grew those. Anywho, but she has, my son is there and he's 18, he's 17, she's 17. Put some clothes on. I think it's inappropriate to walk around me. It's disrespectful to me as your father, and it's disrespectful to your brother because even though you all are related, he's a teenager. I'm not saying that it's some perversion thinking in the house, but you don't know how another person is thinking or you looking at somebody. I used to have a problem with my mother walking around scantily dressed in the home. I said, would you put some clothes on? She slapped the hell out of me one day. I asked her again, would you put some clothes on? I didn't want to see all of that.
But your mother's attractive though, Flame.
But does that make a difference?
Kidding.
It does not make a difference. Oh, see, niggas want me to go in on y'all. I'll do it tonight at Love Lounge. I get your ass to back tonight, nigga. Right now, we on the show. I just think that as a father of daughters, that it starts with the respect to me. So if I ask you to respect me as your dad, you respect yourself with other men. This is what I'm looking at. And I don't want to see my daughter walk around braless with a boob. I mean, I don't do it.
Yeah.
You know, and I got boobs. So I'm a very different looking dad, but I make sure I have on my clothes. I keep on my jogging pants and a t-shirt around my children.
Right.
You know, I'm never scared. I don't even know if my children have ever, well, one of them walked in on me. So had ever seen me naked before. But yeah.
I mean, that's happened. I've done that too. I've walked in on my dad naked.
But as a father of a daughter,
Okay.
I want her to respect me because as a man, so I figure like she'll respect other men because it's kind of respecting yourself. Your daughter, you know.
I know, yeah.
Would you feel appropriate walking around your dad, you know, even when
No.
you was a young teen? Yeah.
No,
See?
I never would. And I mean, I agree with that part of what you're saying. But so I mean, I think it's both of those things. I think, you know, black women were hypersexualized at a very young age and it's carried on. And to your point, you know, you do have to have that dividing line of, okay, I'm still your father. You need to respect me. Because that's how I am. And, you know, with my father as well. We definitely have those lines drawn in the sand.
Well, Flame, since you have 3 teenagers at home, I have to ask, did Santa visit the Parkers?
Santa didn't come in my house. That nigga had the corona. We sprayed that nigga outside on the chimney. We already talked about this. You came in late. Santa couldn't come to my house because that nigga went to too many different people's house with that shit. So let's move on because I want to talk about something. I know this is off the course. What's the first subject, Lauren?
We need to talk about these automated cars.
Yeah, we want to talk
really
about the
what we need
automated
to talk
cars.
about.
I do want to just say shout out to the family in Ohio. I think his name was Andre. The police they just killed the guy in Ohio and shot him, and the police officer was fired. But here's my thing: is it getting any better? Honestly, since George Floyd, you shoot me and then you keep telling me to put my hand behind your back, nigga. I can't move my arm because you done shot me in it.
Right.
The police. We talked about this last week. It's not. They don't need to redo the police. They need to reform it. It needs to be some changes. You cannot keep putting a round peg in a square hole. It does not work.
I do think, though, this particular situation is different. And I say that simply because, one, I want to applaud. You know, I think that I never want people to think that somehow, you know, we have something against law enforcement because I will speak for me. I don't. But I think that their reform is necessary. In this situation, I applaud leadership because they acted swiftly. Not only did that officer not have his body camera on like he was supposed to, he violated, they acted quickly. There was no, we're going to suspend with pay while we figure out and we investigate. No, he's fired. We will continue to investigate. We made a mistake because this guy was on our payroll and he did not act the way he had been trained to do and what the policy was. So I like that swift action. I also like the swift action of the officers who responded this weekend on Christmas morning to that bombing in Nashville, who immediately started knocking on doors and they looked out for each other and they got people out of harm's way. I just think that there are times when there are many officers there are more, I believe, who do the right thing more often than not. And unfortunately, it's those bad apples that keep popping up, making the entire force look bad.
Nicholas cleaning up for that meat. Nigga, you better clean up for that wash your meat statement. You better make it right.
The deal is, I will never wash my. It's still ridiculous. It's as ridiculous then as it is now.
I knew your ex-girlfriend. She said that your meat stayed quite clean. I'm just telling you. I knew her. Anywho, let's go back because we were going somewhere else and we got all sidetracked because you brought up that bombing, baby. I knew that was not no bomber. I knew that was a terrorist, and I knew he wasn't black because they didn't show his picture because they didn't have to say the name. If he was black, they didn't show the picture. They didn't need no goddamn name.
Well, we're going to talk about that later on in the show.
Okay,
that's going to be a huge
Flame
topic.
So Lauren.
He's all over the place. I'm like,
I told y'all I was feeling
schedule.
groovy. I told y'all before the show started that I was feeling groovy. If you don't know what that means, join us at Love Lounge at 6:30 tonight.
So we're going to rewind here, and we are officially going to start the show with the first topic, which is with self-driving automated cars. Nick, I know you and Flame had a discussion about it, and then Flame and I kind of had an offline discussion about it too. How do you feel about this?
Well, the deal is, I was saying to Flame, the reason I brought this up and wanted to introduce this as a topic is because more and more of us are starting to see the electric stations pop up simply because this is also part of Biden's whole commitment to going green and making sure that those who buy electric electric vehicles and self-driving cars. Most of the self-driving cars and self-automated vehicles happen to be electric. And the idea is that smarter technology will make the roadways safer. That's also the direction many of the shipping trucks and things are headed, because unfortunately, too many of these drivers are on the road longer than they should be safely in order to pick up and drop off a load in time that is really just not realistic for them to actually be able to pick up and drop off and make money and get back. So the idea behind all of the testing of late is the automated trucks, automated cars, so that people can actually you remove the human error from driving a vehicle. So I think it's a great idea.
I'm not for it. I hear all the reasons why, the reasoning behind this should happen, but I'm sorry, technology fails us so many times within a day. A glitch, a system error, something. And I think that the flip side to that could be we could end up having more accidents. I really do. But I would never feel safe to just be in a car relaxing and say, oh, you can just drive for me, because you never know. You have to have quick reflexes and quick, fast reaction time. And what if you don't and you end up getting hit? You know what I mean? And then it's like, whose fault is it? That could be something else. Is it the actual automotive engineering fault of the car or whoever manufactures the car? Or is it the actual driver? It can cause a lot of gray areas that I'm just really not okay with.
Is it my turn?
Well, yeah. But
wait, Nick. I got one scenario for you. Imagine getting in one of those self-driving cars and it drives like I drive. Cause Nick is fucking terrified of my driving. Let's go and tell the people the truth. Nick sits in the back seat when he rides with me. This is real talk. The truth. He rides in it because he's terrified of mine. So imagine riding in a car with a system that they already programmed that drives like I drive. How many heart attacks have you had in a day fucking with me?
Well, I'm going to say I don't think that would be a car designed by anyone. Okay? Let's start there, okay? Unless it's Speed Racer. Are you kidding me? I think, I just think that the technology is here. And I don't think you unring a bell, right? I can remember early on when microwaves came out, I had older relatives. I'm putting no food in no microwave. What's all that radiation going into my food? Now we don't even think about it. I think that I can remember when people are like, why would I get into a stranger's car? Well, that's how Uber works. Wait a minute, you don't know the person, you're just going to get in their car? I think that's just where technology is headed, because the idea of moving people, large groups of people, safely from one place to another, or individuals, isn't new, and people are looking for cheaper ways to get there. Younger people aren't buying cars at the same rate. I just think that automated Ubers, automated buses, I think that technology is here and it's just going to expand. I really do.
Nicholas, I'm not for it. I'm telling you right now, I'm not for it. Because, as a people, we get too complacent. Not just as a black people, just as a people in general. And so I'm going to get this comfortable. I'm going to went through the drive-through. I'm sitting here eating my food. And you know what's going to happen after you eat, especially if you ain't got to be driving. You go for
the itis.
The itis kick in and you just nodding. And this thing have a glitch. You kill yourself. You kill somebody else. I couldn't live with that. I'm alert when I'm riding with people that I'm not comfortable how they drive, because I'm never understanding why me and you in the car together, Lauren. So I'm driving and we having a conversation. And I just got to keep turning and look at you like you can't hear me. I'm looking in the straight. This hoe can hear me. I ain't got to look at her. She can hear me. And that bothers me when people do that, because all it takes is to take your eyes off the road for a split second and it's over.
And I will say that just so people know and they don't slide up in your comments, you are not reading your phone when you're driving. Now, this is true. I just think you drive too fast. You're not reading your phone, and you are not one of those that turn and look at me. You do keep your eyes on the road. And I think what gives me some sense of comfort is that you're comfortable, and it's the same way you drive even when the kid's in the car. So when Precious Cargo is sitting there, when Precious Cargo is in the car, I'm like, well, okay, she love that baby. I know.
Y'all know who Nicholas said I drive like? Y'all remember the movie Superstar? And the lady was the soccer mom driver, and she was looking back and changing pampers. That's how Nicholas says I drive, y'all.
Woo!
I'm telling
I love that movie.
Those hairpin turns at breakneck speed were just like, I was like, whoa, okay. And then one time, Lauren, so fast, and there was such a cut that at one point she's like, Flame was like, what brake you using? Because
he was using brakes from the passenger side.
That's when you got in the student driver cars. They got the brakes on the passenger side that you can hit.
Absolutely.
But at systematic, we would get so used to that, and I just think I'm with Lauren. I'm not with that because we would take our attention off of what's important. Machines do glitch. People glitch. You know.
I guess the bigger question is, you all know the technology is here. We don't live in a vacuum. So what do you plan to do then? Are you just, I will never get in an automated car, or right now, do you need to learn more? What needs to put you at ease? Because you're still washing meat. You won't do a vaccine. You won't get may we use electricity? What would you all prefer?
How about this? How about you let 15 million people drive these automated cars, see how many accidents happen and people die,
Lord.
then bring me back the report and I'll tell you how I feel. Let's do that. How about that?
Laura's like, how about that?
Nick was shook about that not washing his meat. I mean, washing the meat. Like Arby say, we have the meats.
More people slid up in my you would have thought I had called somebody out of their name the way they slid up in there talking about me, and I was like, whoa.
Again, black folks, we are systematic people, and when we get used to doing some shit the certain way, just like they said in The Color Purple, remember when they said in the movie in The Color Purple, we hang the sheets up first so that we can hang the socks in the crack. When she was trying to explain the word of systematic to her sister, this is what we do. We systematically do the same shit over and over, and we all believe what most of us believe. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I will change my way of doing some things, but I'm not getting in no car driving because, baby, what if I sneeze and the car think I gave it another demand and hit something else? I say, I chew, and the bitch think I said stop, and we hit the back of a semi-truck. And I'm walking around with one leg and one eye, and they calling me IHOP. No thank you. No ma'am, and no thank you. I'm good.
You know what?
I like my 2 legs, my 2 boobs, and my 2. Okay, what's the next subject?
Well, I think that's a good segue since we're talking about people possibly dying. We were talking about just overall loss and death happening in 2020.
We're going to bring some people in, Nick, but before, because Nick could get along with it, we're going to bring you back in. We're going to take you over, we're going to bring in the Flamettes.
Get some folks in there.
Change their hair back. We're going to bring somebody in because we are going to talk about death because everybody perceives or receives death differently. And this, in the time of death now, is very strange because people are having virtual funerals or you can't go to the funeral. You can't even be with somebody in time of bereavement because of coronavirus.
Or even saying your goodbyes in the hospital.
Right. So we want to bring somebody in who's going to explain it to us about death and what death is, because death is, to me, I was told as a preacher when we was a kid, the preacher said that we all here on loan. We all have to go back to that big pawn shop in the sky. And as simple as that sounded, I understood that.
Yeah.
Hello, Dawn. Hello, Texas Star 42.
Hey,
So
how y'all doing?
We're doing great. You look amazing. How was your Christmas?
My Christmas was good. My daddy barbecued for me. My mama fixed some rice dress and I fixed the coleslaw. So I was fat and full all weekend. I just ate the last of the barbecue. Now I'm headed back to New Hampshire.
In the words of Santa, ho, ho, ho. I like it. Dawn, so we had 2 subjects we can cover. You heard us talking because, you know, I've been all over the place this morning. It must be something in my Coca-Cola, in my Diet Coke.
It must be.
Drinking Diet Coke make you think crazy.
Okay. Hey, Lauren. Happy holidays.
Hi, how are you? Happy holidays to you too.
Well, thank
you like
you.
my lights?
Hey,
I'm trying to
Nick.
be festive.
I see you. That looks so cute. Listen, I wanted to say 2 things when you were talking about the transgender community, the gay community. You know, I have a little cousin that's transgender.
Uh-huh.
And my first cousin, he's my first cousin's son, actually. And he, in September, when I came home to visit, he was down, depressed because couldn't find a job, roommate died. To make a long story short, he made an outcry on Facebook about how sad he was and depressed. Well, I reached out to him, encouraged him. I didn't see transgender. I saw my little cousin.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the love I have for him. You know, he texted me the other day about Anita Baker because I turned him on to Anita Baker in '84 when he was a little kid, you know. And I don't see transgender. I don't care. I love him, you know. And I had to tell that to my mother. I said, when we were talking about somebody that was transgender, I said, Jason is transgender too. You know, well, I can't never remember his name. It's Chelsea, but I call him Jason. I said, you love him. We love him,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So it doesn't matter to me. I don't care because guess what? I don't have a hell or a heaven or hell to put him in.
That's
So
true. Oh.
That's just the way it is.
And we need more people like you doing. And when I was saying that, I wasn't throwing my black community up under the bus, but I'm part of the black community, and that was it. The people just did not accept the gay. They would accept so many other things. He could have 13 baby mamas and 99 kids running around. Anything was better than that person being gay. And so
exactly. And you know what? And like you said, they accept the sex offender. They accept somebody, Uncle Johnny, that been touching kids since they came into this world.
Well, and for the record, Uncle Johnny brought the best gifts. Let me just say.
Well, yeah, because he had to make up for all the shit he was doing, that nasty bastard. But anyway,
you're okay. It's
I look forward to seeing Uncle Johnny every Christmas. Let me just say personally, he had one hand on the ham and one hand on my ass. I was 14. I was young. No, I'm just joking. That's a joke for y'all. So running around. Flamettes.
Okay. But the second thing, when y'all were talking about the electric cars, the new cars and whatnot. Now, I live in Southeast Texas, and it's nothing but refineries between Beaumont, Port Arthur, and Houston. So we make oil, and most of the oil goes for cars. So are they trying to push out the oil industry?
That's a good point. That's a very good point.
I mean, we have hurricanes now, and the hurricanes are coming so often. They're coming like June 1st to November 30th. So when the lights go out and the poles are down, and we need to charge up these cars, how we gonna do them when we ain't got no electricity?
Exactly. That's a good point.
I'm afraid of them. I don't need nothing running about machine running.
I'm just saying.
And honestly,
they cute.
It makes us as a society lazy. It's like we stop doing for ourselves. We become so dependent on technology that we can't do for our own selves anymore. So I'm really not a fan of it at all.
Well, and another thing too, Lauren, to add to that, the cars we used to have in the 80s and 90s, your daddy could change the oil. But now they made it so that you can't even get to the oil. You have to take it to the dealership or somewhere that specializes in changing oils to get your oil changed,
That's very true.
I mean, the Teslas are nice. They're good-looking cars. But I'm just not there yet because I come from a refinery town. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is our way of living out here. And a lot of people made their way of living, retired, gotten good benefits, good income, whatever. And y'all trying to phase out the oil industry because a lot of our oil come from Southeast Texas.
Well, we want you to weigh in on death because that's what we're talking about right now, Dawn. So what?
I can do the death.
I know you've lost people or known people who've lost people, and I'm not even just talking about this year with the coronavirus because there's been so much death this year. What we had 315,000 in counting, something like that. And then I saw Biden earlier today said that he's projecting by the end of January because of the Christmas surge and traveling. When y'all should have set y'all asses down, that it was going to be another 250,000 dead by the end of January. So. We can't go to the funerals. You can't even grieve together. What does death mean to you, Dawn?
Now that I've gotten older and understand death, and I have my parents, and you're never prepared, but sometimes you're prepared, and the closest person I've had to die to me was my grandparents. I understand it because we're not here forever. We're not here, and I hate to sound so cliche as like what the church taught us, but we're really not, because I look at my parents. My parents are 78 and 79. I looked at my aunt this weekend, my aunt and uncle, they slowing down on us. They slowing down. So it's going to be a time that they're going to leave, even though I'm going to be okay with it, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to miss them. And that's why I made it a point. I know with all the coronavirus and whatnot, I made it a point to come home because I have to see my parents. At this time, they all I have. I'm not married. I don't have any children. So this, I have to look out for them and I have to take care of them from New Hampshire. Something go wrong, I'm on the phone, and I have other aunts. Everybody's slowing down on me. And I know it's going to be a time that, okay, they leaving. And you know what? My neighbor, her daughter just died Christmas Eve, 42 years old. She died.
From corona?
No, she had an infection, not from corona. Thank God not from corona. But this is the time of the year. Y'all know from November, Thanksgiving, Christmas time, and the first of the year, everybody flying out of here. It's just the people that are leaving that's surprising us.
Yeah.
you know, and in springtime it's gonna start up again, you know. So
Yeah.
even though we think we could live forever,
Oh,
we're not.
I wouldn't want to live forever.
I wouldn't either.
Oh my
That's what my
God.
mother tell me all the time.
Getting old sucks. Let me tell y'all, it's all kind of shit happening. Everything low. Let me tell y'all,
Yeah.
baby, my nose hairs is right in my mouth right now. Everything is low. Everything is falling. Understand? I got a lot of shit that's falling.
But look, Flame, my mother is 79 years old, and I always tease her when she buys another piece of jewelry. I say, "Oh, get it." I said, "I'll probably have it in the next 20 years when you leave." She said, 20? She said, "Oh, no, I'm going to be gone before the end of it. And you trying to live that long?"
That is such a wonderful place to be. And I want to ask you about Deaf Lauren, because Lauren comes at it with us from a younger age.
Yeah.
But that is a wonderful place to be, to accept and know that one day you are definitely going to leave. I think Martin Luther King said in his 63 memoirs, once you accept death, you're free. Once you know that this is inevitable for everyone, and it's going to happen to you, baby, you free. Because I'm like, come on, God. God don't
And let me leave you with this. I'm going to tell you what my mother always tell me. There are worse things than dying.
You ain't now. We got one. He in the White House right now. The nigga just signed the bill. Bad doing. Have a great year, baby. I see you. Get that nigga out of here. So Lauren, you're 25. So deaf means. See, I'm older, so I've seen a lot of deaf. And has anyone close to you ever passed on, and you had to deal with that?
Yeah. I have. My grandmother, I think, was like the first. My dad's mother was the first real death I had to deal with. At a young age, she died when I was about 8 years old. And then my next major one was actually my aunt, who's my grandmother's sister. She died while I was in college, and I couldn't go to the funeral. But I don't know. Death is something hard, I think, for me to accept, at least when I don't know. I'm not an emotional person, and I don't deal with emotions well.
Mm-hmm. That's my line.
And well, okay. I mean, seriously, me too. And it's like when things happen, I realize that I more so will kind of hold them in rather than dealing with them up front. I don't like to cry. You know, I don't like to express really how I feel. I think that's also too why I like being alone a lot, because I get to, you know, really decompress and figure out my own thoughts and feelings for myself. And it may not be the most healthy thing, but overall, death is not something that I think that I've arrived in my life where I can just accept. Yeah. It's something, yeah.
Nick, what about you?
I think you know me well enough to know we've kind of had the discussion. I think my biggest challenge would probably be, you know, losing my mom. I've experienced loss in the family, but I can't think of anyone who has been you know, a tougher critic, bigger cheerleader, or anything, or more influential in my life than my mother. And so yeah.
Same here. Yeah, same here.
I need Rosetta to live to be about 112. Let me just say, because Rosetta, I know your baby. Girl, I couldn't deal with all this. This thing is a big old emotional baby. Baby, I can't hold him up. He bigger than me.
But you know, Flame, you talked about too, just, hey, enjoy life. Be responsible, but enjoy life while you're here. Because, and again, I don't know if I missed this in the exchange, but it was your mom who said, how many times have you seen a U-Haul following a hearse?
Exactly.
You know?
And we hold on, and that goes to the whole petty point. We want to hold on to money. We want to hold on to the most property. We got to have the most shoes. That is so irrelevant when you leave to go here, because I do believe that there's a heaven, and I do believe there's a hell. I don't know what the hell we living in right now, but I do believe there's a heaven and a hell. Baby, I don't want to go to hell. They don't have any fans. You know, I burn my fan every night. I'm old school. I put a fan on. Even in wintertime, I run my fan every night. I think it's just a white noise now. I'm so used to. And I'm not going to hell because all this silicone, this shit gonna melt. God just ain't ready for me in heaven yet because I talk too much shit. And he be going, I got some explaining to do. He gonna like, dude, I didn't give you them titties. Let him come. Go back and try that again and then come back. See,
Take that back.
One of those people, he'll keep sending it back and back and back. He's like, I ain't ready to deal with this bitch right here.
I love it. But yeah.
But death is to me, just the evolvement of everything is going to happen. Now, it hurts when it's a baby or it's just a sheer accident that you didn't foresee coming, but then it makes you want to say, God, I'm questioning you. You did wrong. You know, I'm angry with you. And I think it's okay to have been angry with God. I've challenged God's process in my life several times. I've always humbled me. He's always re-humbled me to my knees to say, nigga, didn't I tell you I'm doing this? You just in the way. And so I understand that at this age, but when I was younger, I didn't. I kept challenging him. but it was going and going and going. But so death to me is how you perceive it. And if you let it consume you and not think that the love that you hold on for that person, so if it's a mate, a kid, a partner, whatever, that love with the mother and father, the love stays there. The love never leaves your heart. That to me, that's what keeps them alive, because you still love that person. You ain't always got to tell the best stories about it, because y'all gonna say some fucked up shit about me after I'm dead. But it's okay, because I'm gonna hear you, and I'm a honcho. Boo.
I heard somebody talk about recently that Joe Biden was extending condolences, I believe, to someone in John Lewis's family. President-elect Biden lost his wife and his daughter. You're talking about losing a baby, and everything there. And he was saying that you will get to a point, it's hard to believe now, where you will laugh before you cry of something that they said or did. The good memories will take over the sadness, and you'll get to a better place. But because it just seems like that it's just one of those things where I think we all will have to face it at some point. But you just hope that you, like me, are surrounded by people who love me, who will help me get through it, because I can see myself engaging in a whole lot of eating. And just,
Just make sure I get all the correct PIN numbers, please. I'm asking for a friend. Okay, look. While we talking about PIN numbers, can we go to Nashville right now, please?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Take me there, Lauren. Please take me there.
So, as we all know, there was a huge bombing in Nashville, Tennessee on Christmas morning. It was a recreational vehicle. It exploded in downtown Nashville. 3 people were injured, damaging dozens of buildings, and ultimately killing the actual bomber, who officials have identified to be 63-year-old Anthony Q. Warner. According to officials, Warner was present when the bomb went off, and he died in the bombing. They used DNA at the scene to match a sample that was taken at another location by investigators. And so far, he's the only suspect at this point.
And I know all this is new and we're still learning more, but I have so many problems with this. And I want to make sure I'm sensitive. I understand that having suicidal thoughts are a mental health issue, and that people get into really dark places and you want them to get the help that they need. I think, though, for me, Lauren, Flamettes, those who are listening, it takes it to another level when, if indeed you are suicidal, that you choose to engage in a mission where you put others at risk or you want to harm others. Now, to me, it moves almost out of, and I am not a mental health expert, professional in the area, it moves out of me saying, you know what, I can't go on with the world as it is. I'm just going to off myself, to something else when I decide to buy materials, allegedly, make a bomb, allegedly, drive an RV that people had seen parked in my yard through Google View and identify me. And I drive it downtown, I park it in front of a building, and then I even have the forethought to make a recording. This is going to explode in 5, 4. I don't understand the mentality behind that, where on Christmas Day, I want to do this in this way and possibly harm others.
And found his body, the remains of his body, allegedly. Because I don't believe that that's that man. Let me just say that right now. I've said that because yesterday they found some remains, but they not sure who it is. It was so charred. If it was so charred yesterday, what did it change? Because that's what, when you burn up the evidence, you burn up the evidence. But yesterday it was so charred. But today, first of all, I don't believe that's that man. I don't. And I don't like the way they portrayed it, because had it been a black man, he would have been a terrorist, and his picture would have been up there before his name. But you see here, old ass white man, he's not a terrorist. They're calling him a bomber, and now you're referring to mental illness. Baby, he ain't mental ill. If that's what that nigga wanted to do, black, white, or indifferent, then that's what that nigga wanted to do. I'm with you on if you want to kill yourself, why you got to kill everybody else?
Yeah.
You can take some pills in the room, don't call nobody, turn your phone off the hook, and they never got an answer, and float the fuck on and go where you going, because my grandmama raised me on that. If you kill yourself, you go straight to a sea of fire where you burn in eternally in the darkness, where you never hear another voice. I was raised on it. I have raised my children on it. So no matter what the world throw at you, you're going to have to deal with it, because the other alternative is that you will burn in a sea of fire in all eternity in the darkness and never hear another voice. That terrorizes me and them. that works for teach that to your grandkids. Anywho, I don't believe I what you said, Nicholas, about how he felt. I don't understand when people do all that mass murder. You got to go kill everybody, and then they go to your next subject when you were talking about do teens get a pass? Yeah. First of all, let me go first because y'all ain't got no kids. And absolutely not. God damn it, it's some shit that you cross the line. We are all born with the instillment of you know right from wrong. Even when it's fucked up wrong and you still do it, I'm guilty of it my damn self. You know it's right from wrong. That's what everybody knows that. I don't care what kind of household you grew up in. You know the difference between right and wrong, whether it's stealing or lying or whatever you put that on, you know. So people take that on. All that shit about they can get a pass. If one of these teens kill their mom and daddy because they tell them they can't play video games and then they behead them, and it's happening now. So I ain't saying some strange shit. That didn't happen in the 70s or the 80s.
Well,
this is some new shit.
We can talk about Lizzie Borden though.
Girl, you go back to the 40s. See, she was there. I wasn't there. Anywho, if the mom and daddy is dead, they didn't get a second chance. Baby, sometimes when people be fucked up, they be fucked up mentally. And there's nothing you can do about it. Putting them in get them away from everybody because they're going to harm somebody. But y'all want to give them jobs and badges and police. That's a different subject. Come on, Lauren. I know what the fuck I'm saying.
Well, what I'll say is this. I do agree with the fact that if we just look at history, black folks are not the ones that are bombing the churches and, you know, committing the mass shootings at schools and all of those different things. So I will say that as one thing. And then, you know, when it comes out that it's this white person, they're not labeled a terrorist, but you have somebody like, you know, President Trump that's conveniently saying in Charlottesville there were fine people on both sides, but then, you know, we have all of these protests around Black Lives Matter, and then Antifa comes up and they're all terrorists. So there's definitely a double standard there for sure. In terms of teenagers getting a second chance, I think it depends on what the offense is. Mm-hmm. You know, recently in California, our new attorney general, thank goodness Jackie Lacey is gone. Our new attorney general
nobody liked that lady.
Nobody likes her. It's common knowledge. Our new attorney general actually signed into law that minors are going to be charged as minors and not as adults, which I think is great reform. I think it's great change. However, depending on what the offense is, so somebody like a Kyle Rittenhouse, absolutely not. He does not deserve to get a second chance, especially when he knows what he did. It was intentional. His mother drove him across state lines to shoot those folks at the protest that was happening. And then you have somebody like a Dylan Roof. Just no, those types of egregious offenses do not deserve second chances, because that type of hatred, that I don't even know what to call it, just that evil, that's something evil that you possess in your soul. There's no coming back from that. There's no reform from that. You can't, give them therapy and they can come out of that on the other side. I don't believe that. Those certain types of offenses should receive the appropriate sentencing. That's how I feel. Nick?
Wow, that's a lot to unpack, y'all. I want to go back though. Like, in no way do I think we should allow what happened in Nashville to even come close to being conflated with the acts in Charlottesville, right? I think those are two different things. I also think Antifa has nothing to do with Black Lives Matter. Correct. I think those are two separate things as well. But more importantly, with the Nashville bombing, I think, just so we're clear, I think the reason why, Flame, you did not have a positive ID initially is that because they did use DNA. Now, also, in a bombing, I know this from having done news and covered numerous bombings, all of the evidence is never destroyed in a bombing. That's a myth, that it never burns up. There's always something from a plane crash, from a bombing, that they're always able to retrieve, usually the components that were used. So I think it is reasonable that as quickly as they were able to identify these remains and tie DNA, because they also found family members who said, he's been acting strange, signing away property and telling people that Nashville's going to remember his name. They used all of this information. Hey, can we do a cheek swab? They linked the DNA. That one I buy. the whole idea around teens, I don't think we really kind of set that up for people to know what we're talking about and why. And it all kind of stems from an article that was written on Sunday in the New York Times about a young girl who was 15 when she used the N-word in a Snapchat video to a friend. Someone saw that video, held on to it for 5 years, and when she got accepted to college, they released the video and then said, hey, University of Tennessee, don't let this girl in. She used the N-word before. I don't know that I'm ready to put her in the same group as Dylan Roof and Kyle Rittenhouse. That's me, though. And I don't know if it requires being a parent to have a certain level of empathy, but I do think that teenagers are redeemable. I think for the most part, teenagers can be redeemed. I think that, and I don't know where it came from, but somebody said even sinners have souls. I don't know if that's true, and I don't know if where, but I do believe that everyone has value, and I think that if we do more, that we can kind of step in and save.
Okay, so I'm about to take this. I'm going to take it here.
Come on.
So I think that's a convenient argument when it fits the appropriate race. I'm just going to say that because the idea of teenagers being redeemable, is this something that would really apply across the board for everyone? Mm-hmm. Give you an example. I forgot the gentleman's name, but there was a white boy a couple years ago. He actually raped someone. He raped her. And when he went to court, the judge gave him 6 months probation. That was his
Stanford swim.
Correct. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So you know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. But then at the same time, I recently saw another gentleman. I think he was in the state of Alabama. He was at a party with a white girl. They were hanging out. They left together. They did not end up, sleeping together. But I guess a parent of hers found out, and all of a sudden she cried rape. He couldn't get the proper lawyers to support him. And he's doing 10 years in prison. So to say that teenagers are redeemable, for me, it's a convenient argument. I'll just say that because society does not say that for everybody. Mm-hmm. That's what I'll say.
Back to what you said originally, it depends on the crime. Because some shit you just can't be redeemed for. And that's it to me. But, Nick, you ain't got no kids. I'd be glad when you do have a baby because I can't hardly wait. Oh, Auntie Flame going to fuck your kid up mentally. I'm going to have your kids so damaged, I'm letting you know in advance. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm going to have your kid good and damaged.
I think.
Come on, I hear you.
No, it's just that, we have kids who are 13, 12, they're using these social media. They're putting stuff out there. I don't think they understand. There are kids who know the words to WAP. There are kids who know, and I do think the kids sing these songs, and I don't know that they censor themselves when they're singing Kendrick Lamar. And I don't know that because they sang the lyrics to the song that they are inherently, I don't know. Again, I don't know that I'm ready to label everyone who knows the lyrics to these songs as.
And nothing changed, Nicholas. When we were kids, they called the little girls fast. Oh, she's so fast. She a fast little girl. Now they call them hoes. Same difference. And this don't start with outside our community. This start in their own community, in our own house. Your mama said, oh, you fast. Stop being fast. That's probably before your time, Lauren. Now it's hoe. Oh, is that you? Oh, that's right. Lauren Mama old school.
Yes.
Now it's you being a little hoe. Stop being a little. They changed the word from hoe to thought now. So it's it's same shit, just different wordage.
Can you imagine a parent saying that to their child?
I've seen it.
I've
seen mothers, black women, because I don't know no many white women with their daughters. I've seen black women call it, these bitches is getting on my nerves to their daughters' faces. You don't know the harm that has done to their daughters because me and their daughters were friends, and they would come and cry to me in pain that their own mother called them a bitch. And I'm not saying this to tear nobody down, but I'm telling you, words have power depending on who it came from. Because if you don't mean shit to me, there's absolutely nothing you can say to me about me that's going to cut me to the quick. But if I loved and or hated you before, because in order for me to hate you, I had that loved you. Baby, you can say some shit and it'll cut me to the bone. It will cut me to the bone.
So help me here, Flame. Go back to it because I want to make sure we're clear. And as Flamettes are listening, where are we on this, on teens? Are teens redeemable? That was the question.
I mean, I would say I think it's a case by case basis. I will say that. I'm just saying I don't think that the norm. It's not the norm, and it's not fair across the board is really what I'm trying to say here. But I do think it's on case by case basis. You know, some crimes are more egregious than others. But I mean, even with the girl saying the N-word, you know, why were you doing that?
Why so much emphasis on that? You know, when did that break somebody's spirit? When did that? I mean, I know that people, and hear me when I tell you, because I use the word all the time. So before my black community come after me, let me say this correctly. The word got the power. I know some slaves heard that before they died. I heard that you know, Oprah say that, what's her name? What was the poet's name? Maya Angelou said that was the last word of some people. That word has so many levels of different meaning in the black community. I'm only talking about the black community right now. That word has so many different capacities, from love to hate to anger to joy to bitterness to receiving to acceptance to a compliment to everything. So why, when we hear that word spoken outside of somebody outside of our community who don't understand all the different levels for that word or the impact that it has, that we get so offended by it? Now, in my face and disrespecting me, I get that. But she was going to a rap song. There was a video up this weekend where a man was in a store and he was buying a bottle or something, a can
I
or
saw
something.
that too.
And the man called him a nigger, and he kept niggering, and he dropped the can. The man kept his cool. When he kicked the can, the man picked the can up and slapped fire from that ass. I say, that is how you do it. I don't know what Montel Jordan was talking about, but this is how we do. Baby, that had tickled me. But here it was. The disrespect was in his face. This little girl made a video from 5 years before. We hold on to shit. We got to stop holding on to insignificant bullshit.
That's the cancel culture.
We've just held on to bullshit for 4 years, and these last 23 days is about to be real shaky. But we ain't fighting that. We got to pick and choose better battles as a people, not just black people, but as a people, period.
And I think that can go to the case by case basis that we're really talking about here. It depends on the situation. It does.
Well, Flame mentioned 4 years of dealing with holding on to things. Is this the perfect segue?
I think so. I think so.
That fat nigga playing golf, and y'all sitting at home, honey. And today the eviction moratorium started, right? So they can put people out as starting today. Baby,
well,
let me
more
tell y'all
importantly,
something.
Flame, before we talk about that, the important thing is President Trump believes you all have slighted the First Lady because he believes she should have been on more fashion magazines. So quit talking about things that don't matter, Flame. Nobody's talking about rent moratoriums and $600.
So let me give you the laugh and learn version of that. She's always very nicely dressed. She looks beautiful all the time. Now let me give you the nigga Flame Monroe version of that. Bitch, I don't give a fuck how well you dress. We bought them clothes because we pay taxes. That nigga only pays $750 worth of tax. Them thigh-high boots that hoe had on the other day cost more than that. Let me say what the fuck I said. Now, do she be done? Oh, Melania is done from head to toe every time you see her. The problem is we sitting on the other side hungry looking at this. If we got a TV, if we got cable, if we got some place to stay, I'm looking at how well dressed your wife is off my tax money that you don't want to pay taxes for, and you didn't want to sign a stimulus bill to give me some of my money back so I can watch her, at least watch her and my stomach don't be growling. At least I can watch this bitch and I'm on a full stomach. Nigga, where's the hypocrisy? Where's the outcry on that?
Well, there's a lot of hypocrisy here because I think in general, it's always entertaining for me, I will say, to see all of the things that Trump had to say about President Obama and all of the criticism that he gave him. And he's doing not only what he did, but 10 times worse. He criticized Barack Obama for golfing too much. He's in Mar-a-Lago every day and has been there throughout his presidency. I think there's also a bit of jealousy there too, because Michelle Obama was the fashionista of the world while she was first lady for those 8 years and had every designer, every up and coming designer coming to her, dressing her, and just really, and she was glorified for it. Rightfully so, because she was the first to take a photo, you know, with her shoulders showing and all of these different things. So now when it comes to Trump, you know, some people backed out of dressing his wife because of the racist comments that he made. And I think people also fail to realize too, Melania is a lot like Trump. They're a lot alike.
No, you saw what the jacket said. What did the jacket say?
I don't really care.
Baby, okay. I'm sorry, Lauren.
No,
Come
you're
on,
fine.
babe.
And I mean, they are a lot alike. They really are. So this is also too an ego thing for Trump, because he's always trying to compare himself to Barack Obama, and you can just never measure up. I'm just gonna go there. You're fat. You're orange. You got a bad toupee. Barack Obama has the most swag that a president has ever had. He wore a tan Easter suit. A tan suit on Easter that had raised all types of hell. You will just never compare. Get over it.
Didn't that nigga look like the uncle from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood in that tan suit? I was like, come on, that was the black uncle across the street. I was like, yes, come on, Barack was so fly in that tan suit. I just had a flashback moment. I'm sorry, where was we at?
But I'm with Lauren on that.
Trump.
Lauren, there was
Yeah.
a time when that was the biggest scandal. Oh, he wore a tan suit. Oh my God, who does that? Yeah.
There's no comparison, and that's his issue. You know, he's just never gonna measure up. It's an ego thing, and now he's trying to put it on his wife too, because she's not getting the same admiration. You're not gonna get the same admiration as Michelle Obama. She was our first lady. She was a lady, and your wife's a porn star.
And when it's authentic, it's authentic. Y'all done tried to copy every speech. Y'all done tried to copy other people's dress, style of dress, and way of life. But baby, when it's in you, it's in you. You can't buy it.
And
that's
I think
that's a message to some of these other.
And I think that one of the things, the reason we brought this up is because Flame had just talked about how frustrating it was and how, where has he been? But now that he has signed the stimulus package, I am interested, Flame, to hear what some of the Flamettes may have to say, just because now it looks as though they are moving forward. And is this enough? Or, you know, are we just ready for this to be done or whatever?
I don't know what $600 gonna do, and that's the truth. And then you made them wait for it. That is,
and Congress is, or the House rather, is working on, you know, making Trump a man of his word and actually providing these $2,000 checks for folks right now, which the Republicans are in uproar about because they don't want to do that.
I feel bad for people. I wish I could help everybody, but I can't. But I really do wish, because I know some people that's hurting.
Mm-hmm.
Hey!
Hello
there.
Teresa.
I'm sitting here doing my nails, just bye on my business.
Girl, I see you getting up in full-on drag. How are you? Weigh in, Teresa. We want to know, what do you think about this Trump foolishness and this stimulus package that he finally decided to sign on the golf course?
I'm trying to use my words gently right now.
It's okay. It's laugh and learn. Be honest.
I think that it goes back to the old adage that you always want what the Joneses have, thinking that the grass is greener somewhere else. That's why he even sought out the presidency, because he felt that he was going to be a better president than Obama. And we all know that couldn't ever have been possible because of his character and who he has been in the past. Mm-hmm. So, but I'm just I'm just floored that he would think fashion would be anything of a type of topic for the presidency that he has given to this United States, and that he would think that we needed to honor his wife because of the clothes she's wearing, although the clothes she had not worn to become popular, her porn star, wasn't even addressed either. If you want to address her full character, not just something out of it, that money that was overspent for someone who's used to already dressing foul. Let me just say foul, because some of her fashion was not tasteful. Yeah, I just have to say it like it is. It wasn't tasteful, and so yes, I agree with Lauren that she is very much like Trump, and she is the one who pulled him around by the nose, telling him what to do. She was the one encouraging him to behave the way he was. That he didn't come up with all of that on his own, that it was her that was pulling him around by the nose and giving him the encouragement to be a fool for the people.
I've said that on Love Lounge, because people love to say, well, he was such a monster and she was so sweet. Understand that the wife always knows her husband, even if she don't want to face it. That goes back to the whole Frankenstein verbiage. But the wife knows her husband.
Yes.
If he's a monster and she stayed with him for 30 years and she knew he was a monster, there's monster in her.
But she's not dumb either, though, because I feel like people also assume that she's stupid. If we're just going to talk about it, the reason she didn't come to D.C. initially is because she was signing papers to make sure that her son Barron was covered when she decided to divorce Trump.
You got that right.
So she's not stupid
An
either.
amendment
Oh,
to that
she's
prenup.
gangster with that
Yes.
wapalapa, baby, because I don't know what the hell Cardi B was talking about, because she went from a
Sure,
basic hoe
and
to the
she,
first lady of the United
she
States. That's
also
called the
is,
wapalapapa.
Yes. But I also want to say that when we heard the audio of her speaking with her friend at the time, it really gave us a clearer insight as to the type of person she was. And the fact that this season here, in which he decided to be a total a-hole and not sign that and try to drop people's hopes and say, oh, I'm going to do $2,000 instead of $600. I know I'm off topic, but I just have to say that she doesn't care nothing about Christmas either. And so having a bunch of sad people over the holiday was not anything to matter for either one of them. So, yeah.
Well,
That's all
honey,
I
we
just
thank you
had
for
to
bringing it
share.
on in now, because
Yeah.
you had shut it down. Listen, I'm with you. I understand. I live in the same America that you live in, and I see the same bullshit that y'all see. I need y'all to open y'all eyes, because some of y'all don't see it. Ooh, everybody is at Melania, but I'm with you, Lauren. Baby, you can't be that far removed from the devil, and you ain't part devil.
Seriously, it's just, and I think it's so interesting because she's not in the spotlight. You know, people aren't really looking at her all the time, that people think that it's really just Trump and, oh, she might be a little nice. It's not the situation. You know, to Teresa's point, the audio came out. She was complaining about Christmas. Why do I have to do this? I don't care about these people. She had the coat, you know, when the whole issue was going on with children being locked up in cages and separated from their parents. She doesn't care.
Do you think she's going to divorce him immediately after this?
Did you not see the Penske truck that pulled up the day he lost the election? She was like, pack this up. We're out. Let's come on. Get it together.
She said, let me get these good items.
Did you see the photo?
I did see the photo.
There was a
I thought that
Penske
was
truck.
a Photoshop photo.
No, I think it was very accurate. She was like, pack this up. We're leaving. We're done.
They had to pack up all that special furniture because, you know, for Baron got that special furniture.
Exactly.
Ooh.
So,
He got that
part.
special sauce furniture. Woo. Woo, baby Baron is 2 all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, onions on a sesame seed.
You know what? You're going to leave Barron alone. You know what? Lauren mentioned something earlier I just want to touch base on. It turns out, Lauren, you had mentioned how we often ignore race in different situations. Now we're quick to call it out. It looks like the Army sergeant in that shooting at the bowling alley. It looks like the in Rockford, Illinois, and that's like for anybody who doesn't know, it's like northwest of Chicago. And it looks like they literally just came across the wires. The judge denied his bail, and it looks like the 3 people that he killed were shot randomly. He did not even know them, and all 3 were African American. So, like he targeted certain people at this particular bowling alley. There were people there who were not African American, and it looks like Duke Webb, 37 years old, faces 3 counts of murder and 3 counts of first-degree attempted murder for injuring 3 people in the shooting at Don Carter Lanes in Rockford, Illinois. On
Tell
Saturday.
me he's in jail with no bond.
He's in jail with no bond, Flame.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Because, you know, they love to say they'll do a bond and then they'll throw up a fucking GoFundMe and everybody start donating money to the killers.
A
Well,
little
that was Kyle
disappointing. He's
Rittenhouse.
active duty service member, but you know, hey, this will definitely figure itself out, you know. But yeah,
I mean, but I will say this, Nick. I think it does touch on the mental health part that you were speaking about earlier, because I do agree. I think mental health is something that's not talked about enough, especially in communities of color, and it's something that we should be open to.
Okay.
You know,
I'm sorry, Lauren. No, go, Lauren,
No,
go.
I'm just saying, I think mental health is something that should definitely be discussed. However, there's also a part of that too where don't make that the convenient argument to justify white people shooting people of color.
Right
I was about to say,
there,
Flame,
cause-
what you about to say? Because Flame,
didn't they
you
say that
it was like
mental-
it was like the
'cause
spirit
somebody
spoke to you.
recently said
Yeah.
that they tried to say that mental illness and racism were linked. It was the same
Yeah.
thing. So that's what I'm saying. So now he's mentally ill and he's racist. How scary is that? But y'all keep giving them badges and calling them officers. I'm just saying, how scary is that they
Yeah.
mentally ill and they racist? Because if you're racist and they say that that is the equivalent of being mentally ill, it's the same thing. But you keep giving racist jobs as police officers, putting them in our neighborhoods where they don't understand our addiction or how we speak to each other or how we communicate and how we live. That's fucked up. So don't say that it's mentally illness, racism. It has to be two separate things, because that means, do you know how it's 73 million mentally ill people that voted for Donald Trump?
Flame.
That's true though.
That's not
point.
Y'all stop.
Got a point.
Y'all.
I ain't got to say shit else. I just said it. It's proof. 73 million people voted for him this year, which means that if racism, when they voted because they were racist, because a lot of Republicans jumped ship. They didn't even want to deal with his shit no more. If they all voted for because they was racist, we got 73 mentally ill people walking around me. Bitch, my neighbors. This nigga in here in the office with me, Kendall. This nigga over here playing on this phone. This nigga crazy. This is what you done. This is what I'm saying. That is. Don't do that. They have to be separate. Because they're scary to think that they're not.
Right.
Yeah. And honestly, I see a comment too from TT Jan. Hey, TT Jan. She said racism is taught. And I would agree with that too, because it's something that's ingrained in you as you grow up. You know, I don't, my opinion, I don't think anybody is just born a racist. I think that it's something that your parents teach you, you know, you get from society, and then you ultimately say, okay, yeah, this is how I feel and this isn't fair. Because I think that's also too what goes with it with a lot of these mass shootings and different things that we see from white folks, is they ultimately think this isn't fair. Well, why does this black person or this Latino person have this and I don't have it? But
you know what, Lauren, I'm going to jump in there and say this. I think at some point the sins of the parent can no longer be an excuse, right? And True. I say that simply because I think it is possible parents just don't know any better. At some point, you become an adult, you leave home, you move around, you interact. At some point, you have a responsibility to educate yourself and try to learn more about things that maybe you did not grow up with, you did not see in your everyday life. You don't get to float around, well, my mother didn't teach me about such and such, so I'm just going to walk around with this attitude about such and such. You know, you get what I'm saying there? That you have to. I agree. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, definitely.
I definitely agree.
But it looks like this guy was an active duty service member, and he is definitely being held flame without bond right now. So there we are.
Well, let's see what actually happens with him, because we still have somebody like a Kyle Rittenhouse who is out on bail.
Yeah.
And you have congressmen in Florida saying he should run for Congress. So,
well, okay, back to the state of Florida. Hey, Florida.
Uh-oh.
Manny Petty State, baby.
I shouldn't have opened the door. It's my fault. I shouldn't have opened the door.
Let me tell you something. They full of nuts in Florida, baby. And I ain't talking about coconuts, just lots of nuts. Good.
You know, which is a perfect opportunity for me to remind everyone who's listening. If you want to sound off about what Flame just said, you live in the great state of Florida. Remember to subscribe, comment, and share, because we want everybody involved in the conversation. The response, the feedback, and the messages that you all have sent in the comments, they really do mean a lot, because we're reading them, and so are our bosses and everybody else.
I don't read them, y'all. I don't read them. I ain't gonna
I will admit.
Nick and I do.
Lauren and I sit there.
They tell me I don't read shit.
We do.
Let me tell y'all something. Today is a very scary day in America, and I'm getting off. This is not off topic. This is actually on topic. I had to bring Nicholas back because it's important, because Nicholas wants to help everybody. If Nicholas had all of his money right now, baby, he'd probably give it all away. I won't let him get all his money right now. But rent today, the moratorium stops. People will start being evicted. If you don't have a communication, if you don't have the money, that's one thing. But please always try to communicate with your landlords or whoever the bank is that you pay your mortgage to, because I'm telling you, if they don't hear anything from you, their next move is to cover their own ass, which is start even eviction notice, or come to you to say, hey, what are you going to do? But you can finagle the gas company. You can put something down on a light company. You can pay something on Rent-A-Center. You can pay something on your phone bill. You can't pay nothing on rent. If you can't pay the full rent, a lot of landlords will put you out. But if you have an open line of communication, even if you don't like each other, let them know what's going on, because a lot of times they use that money for insurance and upkeep on the property, and they not getting nothing because you're not giving them anything. It's about to be real scary. But Beyonce put up $500,000, Lauren Hogan, $500,000. $5,000 a piece to 100 people. Was it in Houston?
Yeah, and isn't that the interesting piece? Is we were just talking about her last week and how it wasn't her responsibility to take the to be at the forefront of saying you should take the vaccine. And I will just add to that part. I don't know, Nick, if you saw, but the Surgeon General Adams also called on LeBron James to do the same thing, which I didn't appreciate. But to go back to what Flame was saying is that, yes, Beyonce gave over $500,000 to the folks of Houston to make sure that they were able to just be able to stay in their house for another month or however long that $5,000 stretches. So we have these celebrities that are doing the jobs that our government is failing to do for us as citizens and as a people of America. So,
Lauren, would you say that again? Because it is not the responsibility of Beyonce Knowles, LeBron James, or anybody else. This is what community and you voting and you being part of the civic process is all about. We are supposed to have representatives that look out for the interest of everyone, even those who did not vote for them. I did not vote for President Trump. And even if I had, I would hope that the one who is representing the country had my best interest at heart too, as did Joe Biden pledge to do, who said that, hey, I'm the president of those who did not vote for me as well. But our local and state representatives, I feel like Flame, Lauren, have just failed so many of the people who are just trying to make it day to day, literally living paycheck to paycheck.
Well, since we're talking about voting, let's talk about how important Georgia. Y'all really need to come out because he has put out that he will be in Georgia next week for another super spreader, another rally in Georgia. Really trying to alley up the troops because Ossoff have caught up. So we are neck and neck down in Georgia. But we got to take this in order to make any changes in this country. If we sick of these mass shootings, if we want this reform, if we want better housing, better equality and all that shit, Georgia, it's all on y'all right now because you guys hold the key. If we can get these two seats, Ossoff and Warnock, if we can get those two seats and we can tie up the Senate, we tie Mitch McConnell's black ass hands because you know the nigga think he white, but the hands is turning black. Something wrong with you, nigga. I'm just saying. But this is what we have to do. We really have to get out there and get that vote in. So tell all your friends, your grandma, get them to the polls. This one is probably more as important as this last one. It's just as important because he's going to tie us up. We're not going to be able to get any laws or any bills passed. Mitch McConnell is on the mission. And now Trump is trying to make up. See, first Trump was mad at Mitch McConnell, so he threw him up under the bus. But somebody didn't got in Trump's ear since he been at Mar-a-Lago. Going to Mar-a-Lago is dangerous, y'all, for us. Because when he goes to Mar-a-Lago, you don't have to go through the political protocol and security to speak to this nigga. You could just walk up to his fat ass with a McDonald's sandwich because you know the nigga eat McDonald's. You come up to him with a Big Mac and some shit, and he gonna just let you come on in. He don't give a fuck whether you got a gun or not. And you could just have a conversation. This is where all his detriment comes from. When he sent out these crazy tweets, it's always when he on vacation on our dime in Mar-a-Lago because he ain't pay no taxes and he want us to make her best dress. I'm not gonna make that bitch best dress. If the bitch wants to be best dressed for me, she should wear about a size 10 or 12 so I can fit that shit. I can't even fit none of that shit. Fuck that bitch. I don't even like we got a girl that Candy Love talking like that in Chicago.
Flame, you were talking about the vote in Georgia. One of the stories we did today, more than 2.1 million votes have already been cast in Georgia.
Yes.
And that's in a runoff election. And this is according to the Georgia Secretary of State. And they include both by mail and in-person early voting. So people are turning out for this election.
Come on, Georgia. Come
on,
on,
in
Georgia.
record numbers. I think it was about 40,000 more people had done early voting than even in the presidential election. So it was definitely a pleasant sight to see of that happening. But I'm honestly okay with Trump going to Georgia. I don't know how you guys feel. I'm okay with him going to Georgia on the 4th, the day before you're supposed to, vote in person, because supposedly he's going to take all his conspiracy theorists with him and more so focus on the fact of this last and final January 6th vote with the electorate to say, I won the election. So I'm fine. Let him go down there. Let him make everything about him. Let him get people all riled up about conspiracies and voting and his base, those 73 million people that Flame talked about that are mentally ill, not go out and vote. I'm fine with that.
Well, it's either one. Either you're going to accept that you're mentally ill or you're racist because you can't have them. You can't be both. You got to pick and choose.
Pick and choose. Flame, did you just drop the title to our next
Pick and choose.
Pick and choose.
Pick and choose. You got to pick and choose. I want to say before we leave, since we were talking about the fabulous Knowles family and Beyonce, because I know I'm a part of that family, y'all. Y'all do know I'm related to the Knowles family. Because I got 4 reasons. Let me give you the 4 reasons. I do Beyonce music.
Nick, look at my face.
I do Beyonce music. I'm crazy like the sister Solange, Cancer. I look like the Mama Tina. And I got dick like the Daddy Matthew. Baby, let me tell you something. I'm a stepbrother from this family. I need y'all to just reach out, Beyonce. And while you sending out jogging suits, you ain't send me none, girl. Size 10, 12, girl. You know I'm losing weight. I'm going to get a movie role. Secondly, I just want to encourage everyone to really, really take the time to follow precautions. Y'all know I don't fool with Fauci. I don't trust Fauci at all. But I have been watching some stuff that they saying that the mutated virus is way worse. Please be careful. Please wear your mask. Please wash your hands. Please do whatever has been working for you for the last 9 months. Continue to do that. Please. Because, baby, people are dying in record numbers. And if you don't have to visit somebody, pick up the phone and call. I love that Dawn went to see her family. Niggas, that made me think of you. I need you to go see Miss Rosetta. I know Miss Rosetta ain't fucking with you in her house, but I need you to stand outside and look at your mama, because Nicholas is very close to his mom, and he has not seen his mother in a year. Don't start either, because you know he'll start crying all that gay shit.
I see the mist. Pull it back. I see the mist.
But, yeah. I know that's important to so many people, and the risk factor is sometimes, like I explained to Nicholas, sometimes the parent is saving you.
Yeah.
Because they feel like, I'm old, I'm going to be here, or whatever's going to happen. I'm helping you because, I don't want you to come and then something happens to me and you hold on to that guilt. And that's what I was trying to explain to you. Sometimes your mom is looking out for your best interest. You just don't understand it. So y'all do whatever y'all got to do. We're going to close. I'm going to let y'all get y'all closing thoughts out. Then I come on at the end.
I just want to remind people to subscribe, comment, and share the show. We talk about a number of topics. We really do want it to be a transfer of information and an exchange of ideas, because we are not here to change your mind.
We just want you to what? Use your mind.
Use your mind.
Yes.
Whatever you feel, however you feel about something, that way it ain't nobody else's. I can't blame you. Can't blame nobody but yourself. And sometimes it turns out to be a good thing. You can blame yourself for the good shit. Ain't that right, Nick?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
See, Nick, glad he met me. I'm not like none of his other friends. I call him every day. Okay, ladies. Lauren Hogan, I just want to say to you, in front of all you people that's on here, that you have been such a breath of fresh air for the show. You have been like an unexpected blessing, because I didn't foresee this happening, but I love the addition that you bring to the show. And I've said this on Love Lounge and on my other shit I do on live. So I ain't telling you nothing I ain't told them, because I'm telling you, Lauren, you just clicked. And girl, from if you go back to week 1 when Lauren was first on, she was a little demure and quiet. Baby, that bitch done found her voice, baby. You can't shut her down, and we love it.
Well, I think too, through our friendship and, we're growing, even working as, partners and everything, we're learning a lot more about each other. So I'm grateful for you for giving me this opportunity. I love talking and having this conversation with you and Nick. So thank you just for allowing me not only to be your manager, but to also interact with you in this space. It's been really amazing.
And y'all see how nice and sweet she is? But on that manager side, she's a monster, baby. That lady does not play about my money.
Don't play with me.
Oh, I love it for her. I love you for her. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Kendall and Tribble. Listen, Laugh and Learn was so great today because of their conversation. Do whatever works for you. We almost into a new year. I will see you guys at Love Lounge later on
And
IG.
When is the Georgia Senate race? Let's
But
remind
the
one more
Georgia
time.
Senate race is January the 5th.
Yes.
And I'm
Go
telling
out
you
and
guys,
vote.
it is so important that not only are you registered, but take people. This vote is so important for us to get some things changed, because they're going to tie Biden and Harris's hands in the White House that on purpose, because Mitch McConnell has said it out loud. On purpose, he's going to do to them what he did to Barack Obama. So I'm telling you now, Georgia, we got a lot riding on you right now, and I'm rolling with Georgia because we flipped Georgia blue. I know y'all can do it. Get your asses up and go do it.
January 5th.
Because that other bitch, that Loeffler funny looking bitch, I don't even like her look. Fuck all that film. She ain't qualified. I just don't like her look. Shit. This is Laugh and Learn with Flame Monroe. Remember that can't no bitch do what I do, because can't no bitch do what you do.
And where can they find you?
You can find me on Flame Monroe on Twitter, Flame_Monroe on Twitter, Monroe Flame on Instagram, Marcus Flame Monroe on Facebook, and at the grocery store right after here, because my kids want me to cook some spaghetti.
Stop it.
So I got to go home and be daddy and mommy.
And Nick is Nick Smith News on all platforms. You can find him. And for me, I am Lauren Armani H on Instagram.
Thank you guys. Well, this show will be up on Thursday evening, Thursday night, midnight, East Coast or West Coast time? West Coast time.
Yeah, West Coast
So
time.
we look for you guys to like, share, subscribe. Please subscribe to iHeart, to the Black Effect Network. This is Flame Monroe. This is Lauren Hogan. That was Nick Smith. That was the he, the she, and the we. And we thank you guys, all you Flamettes and everybody. Peace.